Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text 11 is there. 11 is on the board. Let's read 10 first. Yeah. Kim swapatapasam nrinam acharyam deva chakshusam darshana sparshana prashna Prabhapadarchanadikam Kim, whether sopa, very meager, tapasa, whose austerities, ninam, for human beings, archayam, in the deity, in the temple. Deva, God. Chakshusam, whose perception. Darshana, seeing. Sparshana, touching. Prashna, asking questions. Prabha, bowing down. Pada, archana, worshipping the feet. Adikam, and so on. Translation. How is it that people who are not very austere and who recognize God only in his deity form in the temple can now see you, touch you, inquire from you, bow down to you, worship your feet, and serve you in other ways? Text 11. Nahiyam yamayani tirtani Nayam mayani tirtani Tirtani Nadeva mrichilamaya Nadeva mrichilamaya Na punantyuru kalena Te punantyuru kalena Darshanadeva sadhava Darshanadeva sadhava. Please chant. Ladies. No, not he, indeed, up of water, mayani, composed, tirtani, holy places, na, not, deva, deities, mrit, of earth, Shila and stone, Maya, composed, Te, they, Punanti, purify, Urukalena, after a long time, Darshanat, by being seen, Eva, only, Sadhava, saints. Translation and purport. Mere bodies of water are not the real sacred places of pilgrimage, nor are mere images of earth and stone the true worshipable deities. These purify only after a long time. But saintly sages purify one immediately upon being seen. Because the personality of Godhead is absolute, the Supreme Spirit, any representation of Him, whether manifested in stone, paint, sound, or any other authorized medium, is non-different from His original form in the topmost spiritual planet, Goloka, Vrindavan. But ordinary demigods are not absolute, being infinitesimal spirit souls, and thus representations of the demigods are not identical with them. Worship of the demigods or ritual bathing in a sanctified place gives only limited benefit to those who lack transcendental faith in the Supreme Lord. On the other hand, great Vaishnava saints like Vyasadeva, Narada, and the four Kumaras are always absorbed in Krishna consciousness, and thus they are veritable moving tirthas, places of pilgrimage. Even a moment's association with them, especially by hearing their glorification of the Lord, can deliver one from all material entanglement. As King Yudhisthira said to Vidura, Bhavad Vidam Bhagavatas Tirthabhuta Svayam Vibho Tirti Kurvanti Tirtani Svantostena Gadabrita. My Lord, devotees like your good self are verily holy places personified, because you carry the personality of Godhead within your heart. You turn all places into places of pilgrimage. There's a typographical error here. My Lord, the Lord is capitalized, but it should be lowercase, because the person being addressed is Vidura, not the personality of Godhead, who's the L is capitalized when it refers to God, but lowercase when it refers to persons other than God. So my Lord, devotees like your good self are verily holy places personified, because you carry the personality of Godhead within your heart. You turn all places into places of pilgrimage. Om Agyana Timarandasya Gyanam Jana Shalakaya Chaturshun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Mano Bishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Manayam Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sarvetam Savadutam Prijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakaran Vitamscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavan Ishvari Vishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Manchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Patiranam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Nayam Mayani Tirtani Nadeva Michila Maya Napunanti Uru Kalena Darshana Deva Sadhava. There are 400 million people interested in the Kumbh Mela, and if we told them what it says here, that mere bodies of water are not the real sacred places of pilgrimage, they'd all want a refund. But it's not that the statement means there's no purification. There's purification, but it takes time. In that sense, a ritual bath during Kumbh Mela in a sanctified place gives only limited benefit if the person lacks transcendental faith in the Supreme Lord. Someone may go to take the bath just because everybody else is going and may not know what Krishna says in the Bhagavad-gita. They may not have Shraddha in the personality of Godhead, Bhagavan. So their bathing is less successful. Such persons are advised that they find and meet saintly persons in the tirthas and hear from them about the personality of Godhead. These speakers of Bhagavad-gita are described as very potent. Even a moment's association with them, when they are glorifying the personality of Godhead, that can deliver one from all material entanglement. Therefore, King Yudhisthira praised Vidura in this verse, Bhavad Vida Bhagavatas, Tirtha Bhutta Svayam Vibho, Tirti Kurvanti Tirtani Svanta Stena Gadabrita. My dear Vidura, devotees like you are places of pilgrimage, personified, because you carry Krishna in your heart. Thus you turn all places into places of pilgrimage, especially by speaking about the Lord. The persons who hear about the Lord from these saints, it's as if they visited a place of pilgrimage and got a good purification, the good results of that pilgrimage. Here, Krishna is speaking to great sages who are visiting Kurukshetra. It's another case, it's another instance of many, many people assembling together in a holy place, in this case Kurukshetra. They've come together because it's an auspicious time. There's some eclipse. And when the sages appear, the yadus are represented by Krishna. When he speaks to them, Krishna speaks to them by saying almost the same thing that Yudhisthira said to Vidura. And it's also almost the same thing that Krishna's father, Nanda Maharaj, said to Gargamuni. The great sage Gargamuni visited Vrindavan, and Krishna praised him. Nanda Maharaj offered him a welcome. In the same way, praising him, here in the Krishna book it says, Nanda Maharaj offered him a warm reception, saying, "My dear Brahman, your appearance in a householder's place is only to enlighten the householder. You don't really have something to accomplish by visiting a householder's place, other than to remind us that we are small-minded, we're forgetful. We forget our real duty of self-realization. You're coming to the house. Our house is to give us enlightenment about spiritual life." Prabhupada writes on this that the householders are busy in the matter of dollars and cents. Of course, that's the name for the American currency. So we could say in India, householders are busy in the matter of rupees and pice. That's the same meaning. And therefore, they don't seek out a holy person. They think that this earning and spending is practically all in all. And therefore, they're called poor-hearted. They have a poverty. Although they're dealing in money, they have a kind of poverty. The poverty is their poorness of heart. Their heart is poor. So out of compassion, the saints and the Brahmins go to their homes. Recently, just to demonstrate an example of this, recently, one of my friends in the United States posted on Facebook, it's our 41st wedding anniversary. Haribo, Haribo. And everybody commented, oh, that's so great, that's so wonderful. You know, have a very Krishna conscious day. Congratulations, 41 years, that's really a good example. But nobody wrote, wait a minute, aren't you supposed to be in the Vanaprastha stage? So I sent a message to my friend privately. I said, I didn't agree with all the comments of congratulations. I thought that all the householders were supposed to be detached now from their home. What are you doing at home? So he wrote back, he said, well, I have to make sure that my wife is financially secure before I can leave home. So again, it's the matter of rupees and pice. You know, I have to make sure my wife is secure. And I wrote back, well, you have a son. Your son is supposed to help, right? Of course, it's good to try to make sure that the wife is secure financially. In one sense, it's good for the grandchildren that they have the association of their Krishna conscious grandparents. Krishna conscious grandparents are very affectionate to devotee children, their grandchildren. So it's good for the grandchildren if the grandparents are around. And you could even argue that the grandpa is very happy with the grandchildren, so why should he leave? Better that he's a happy grandpa than a grouchy vanaprastha who feels uncomfortable in vanaprastha life and doesn't feel happy. So the question is how the householders can be enlightened. Vidura was a veritable place of pilgrimage, and when he returned home from his travels and from speaking with his guru, Maitreya Muni, he was praised by Yudhishthira in this way, you're a holy place personified. And he had one older brother, Dhritarashtra, that he was actually very fond of. The history was that Vidura was always giving the Pandavas good advice. And he even spoke to Dhritarashtra. He said, my dear elder brother, why are you scheming. You're making schemes against the Pandavas. Why? But Dhritarashtra wouldn't listen to Vidura's advice. He continued to take the side of Duryodhana, and Duryodhana, he caught Vidura in this. My uncle is instigating my father not to take part in our plan to vanquish the Pandavas. So he used very harsh words to criticize Vidura. Vidura was the son of a king. But he was not born of the queen. He was born of a maidservant. As you know, the queens had maidservants, and also sometimes the maidservants begot children by the king. So these children were called Dasi Putra, and they could not inherit the throne. But still, Dhritarashtra, his older brother, liked Vidura very much. And he raised Vidura. He saw that Vidura was nicely raised. He got Vidura married. He gave Vidura some property. And of course, Vidura was very happy. And he felt obliged to Dhritarashtra. So he always tried to give him good advice. But when Duryodhana insulted Vidura, Vidura left. And then Vidura, after his pilgrimage, he returned. And Yudhisthira received him back. He remembered how Vidura had tried to protect them. Vidura was absent during the time of the Battle of Kurukshetra, traveling to holy places. So he was living the life of a sadhu, and he was the son of Vyasadeva. So, very exalted soul. Srila Narottam Das Thakur also takes up this theme that a person who's fully surrendered to the lotus feet of Krishna can purify anyone wherever he lives. He turns the place where he lives into a holy place of pilgrimage. So that Narottam Das Thakur says this many thousands of years, several thousands of years after Yudhisthira says it, but the theme is still vital, and therefore it's very relevant and applicable to the Gaudiya Vaishnavas in the time of Lord Chaitanya also. It's explained here in the purport that the pure devotees always thinking of Krishna and cannot forget him, even for a second. The Brahma Samhita is quoted, Premanjana Charita Bhakti Valocha Nena Santa Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti. Srila Prabhupada explained how this works in a purport to the verse in which Yudhisthira addresses Vidura. Saints of your caliber are places of pilgrimage. Prabhupada said that Krishna is omnipresent. God is omnipresent. By his diverse potencies, we may not see God in person near us. But everything we see is God's potencies. So God's omnipresent in the sense that he's distributed in his potencies just like electricity. It's available here in the building. All along the walls you can find outlets. You can plug something in and the electricity is available. It's distributed everywhere, like God's potency. And this is perceived by the sages, the pure souls, like Narada Muni and Vyasadeva. They perceive God's potency everywhere. And they can also manifest God's potency, because they feel it in their heart. They see Krishna within their heart. And they see Krishna within everything. Imagine if you had that power to see Krishna in everything. You'd be so much more Krishna conscious. You'd see Krishna everywhere. So therefore, everybody is advised to search out such pure devotees and to take and apply their instructions. And in that way, you prepare yourself to go back home, back to Godhead. Not back home to your parents' house, but back to Godhead. Even children can learn how to go back to Godhead from a young age, from the age of 5, 6. These representatives of God are described as having no desire except to serve the personality of Godhead. No other desire. Once on Srila Prabhupada's birthday, the devotees brought him a cake with some candles burning, and they told him, Prabhupada, if you make a wish and you blow out all the candles, your wish will come true. So this is America. They said, this is how we celebrate birthdays in America. And Prabhupada said, my only wish is for Krishna and Krishna's devotional service. And then he extinguished all the candles, and they said, Prabhupada, you blew out all the candles, your wish will come true. And Prabhupada said, yes, I did good. I did good. So Prabhupada was thinking of Krishna all the time, wanting only to serve Krishna. And especially that service that the pure devotee renders has to do with chanting the glories of the Lord and educating people about the Lord. That's an actual service to the Lord, Shravanam, Kirtanam. And this also characterizes the parampara, this service. Vyasadeva heard from Narada. And then Vyasadeva chanted, and it was put into writing. He taught Shukadeva Goswami. And then he described everything to Parikshit Maharaj. And now we are studying what was told to Parikshit. So we're under the protection of Parikshit Maharaj. He was protecting the kingdom at his time of death. But he had given sit and hear the Bhagavatam. But the devotees say, well, this Parikshit Maharaj, he didn't really abandon the protection of the citizens. He gave them protection in another way by hearing the Bhagavatam so that everyone could the Bhagavatam could become manifest and everyone could hear the Bhagavad-gita for many, many, many thousands of years. So this is our situation. We're under the protection of Parikit Maharaj now by talking about the Bhagavatam. But there's not only just the book Bhagavatam, there's also the person Bhagavatam. And when the person Bhagavatam conducts the reading or the hearing of the the book Bhagavatam, that's especially nice. We see the potency of this when we watch videos of Srila Prabhupada speaking on the Bhagavatam. It's just such amazing potency. They have a purpose. They want to purify those who are poor-hearted. They want to purify those who think that my only duty in life is to live comfortably. But there's this other necessity of human life to know Bhagavan and to yourself become a Bhagavat. You have to become a follower of the personality of Godhead. Therefore, Prabhupada was describing in one lecture, this Krishna consciousness movement is the desire of Krishna that people who have no information about Bhagavan should learn something. Therefore, we've published so many nice books. It's the desire of Krishna that they should read these books and try to understand the philosophy and the science of Krishna, the science of God. Then their life will be perfect. Otherwise, if they just have material comforts, that will not help them because they will not be allowed to stay in their home. They don't understand this defect of material life, that you cannot remain permanently. After you leave the body, there's no certainty what you're going to do in your next life. But according to the material laws of nature, there is a kind of certainty. According to the material laws of nature, if you live in the mode of ignorance, you'll take birth as an animal. If you live in the mode of goodness, you'll be elevated. Just like here in the temple, we go in the elevator. We're going to go up if we press the up button. And there's even a sign, this is a safe elevator. So the mode of goodness is a safe elevator. Also, but people just think about material comforts. I want a clean, comfortable life. And I want to go on enjoying this external energy of Krishna. I want to have my settlement in this external energy, but Krishna doesn't want that. Krishna doesn't want us to be outside of Krishna in the external energy. He wants us involved in the internal energy. But still, it's a fact. It's a fact that he gives the conditioned soul this opportunity. Every embodied living being simply for the satisfaction of the self of every embodied being. The whole material creation is moving. Material creation is here to satisfy the self, even of the embodied being. Krishna arranges it. Krishna is the supreme Atma, and we're all tiny Atmas, And for the satisfaction of this tiny Atma, Krishna provides the material world. He pervades this world and he sustains the world. He's holding it in motion. He keeps it going. Why? Because the embodied living being wants to satisfy himself in this world. So Krishna gives them the facility, but that's not the ultimate purpose. Krishna wants everyone to become self-realized and leave this external energy and go back home, back to Godhead. In Bhagavad-gita, the Bhogashvarya, it's described how Bhogashvarya prasaktanam taya paritachetasam. In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and opulence, and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for the devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. But, on the other hand, some people can become resolute. Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kudu nandana bahushakahi anantas cha buddhayo vyavasayanam. Those who are resolute on the path of devotional service have just one aim. But the aims of people who are irresolute is many-branched. They have many branches. Their intelligence is divided into many branches to enjoy and to acquire opulence in this world. Are there any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna. So actually, the Vyasdev was also son of Mother Satyavati, but he was born from Parashar Muni. And later on, the Shantanu Maharaj had two sons. One was Vichitravirya and one was Chitrarath. The Chitrarath was killed by the Gandharvas because he was holding the name of Chitrarath. So he became envious and he was killed. And then this Vichitravirya has a very severe disease and incurable disease. So he died. So there was no possible to continue the Vamsha up the forward. So that's why Satyavati requested this Vyasdev, please beget son in their wives. So first Ambika and Ambalika. And the Ambika, that time she closed the eyes. So Dhritarashtra became blind. And then this second Ambalika, then this Pandu was born. And the third time, because Pandu was having some Pilavarna. So then she requested once more. So that time she sent a maid servant. And because of that, the Vidur was born as a Dasi Putra. And he was a great devotee of Lord Krishna. and he was doing preaching, and he gave good advice, but because they did not follow, they got the punishment from Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Good history.
आपकी कृपा है.
We'll stop there. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Glories to Srila Prabhupada.